Milos, what's new?
Not much. What's happening? Yeah, you've seen UK show, right?
Think about that.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw a little bit. I didn't see a lot. I just saw some couple of videos. It was always stupid angles.
You know what, though? There was some shitty fucking footage on that thing.
Exactly. It was always stupid from the side, and it wasn't great. They had no live stream. I said, how can you have an Arnold Classic and don't have a live stream?
Yeah. It's incredible. I mean, everything that could go wrong went wrong, I guess. I mean, even Lee Haney is supposed to go there, you remember?
Yeah.
With the post.
Yeah, I was going to ask him about this and say, why? What happened? Yeah, I don't know the real deal, but all I know is that I'm trying not to say nothing. No. What I do know is that there was a whole lot of shit going on, left and right.
Yeah, it was a shit show for sure.
You know, hey, who did they? I didn't even see no score sheets. I saw the score sheets of the guys, but not the other categories.
There was a clear 3, 6, 9, 12 points. I mean, top 6.
Yeah.
It's like decisively. I mean, for me, that's the bullshit. They gave just a reflection of the rounds. 3, 6, 9, that's it. You know, first place, 3, 3, second, 6, 6, third, 9, 9, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, back in our times, Chris, you see the score sheet, you have to know mathematics and use calculator. Let me, bring up the points because it was like all over the place.
Yeah, but Milos, the difference is that now they have 5 judges. So the highs and the lows is going to thrown out. So three is left. So if you have perfect score, that's 3.
Yeah, it used to be 9 judges, 2 highs, 2 lows being erased.
Right, and then we had 5. Then was 5 points would have been all first place. Now it's 3.
Why is your audio is not so good as normal?
Who? My audio?
Yeah.
Nico, what's wrong with my audio?
You hear him?
Yeah, I hear him.
Yeah.
I hear you, Chris, perfectly, but Dennis, like, so.
Chris.
Shit.
What are we gonna do?
I thought my audio now should be much better than the last couple of weeks.
No, something.
Because I'm back. Because I'm back in the studio.
Yeah, you look jacked. I think you trained there, huh?
What?
You look jacked.
No, this is just me. When I'm on my phone, I look tiny. I haven't even trained. I have not even trained while I was in Dubai. I was training Rami. I didn't train. I didn't do shit but cardio.
0? Shit.
Only cardio. I'm so comfortable, man, not going to the gym to train, man. I'm so fucking comfortable. That's scary.
Yeah.
Chris, you know what I'm. Chris.
5 times in the last 2 months.
Yeah, but Chris, you know what I'm talking about. When you're just comfortable, not training.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Because here's the thing, and this is why I said, you know what, fuck it, because it doesn't matter if I train or not. I still look like shit. So why should I suffer to look like shit when I can look like? Why should I suffer to look like garbage when I can look like garbage without doing anything?
It is disheartening, man. You be like, man, no matter what I do to this fucking sore as fuck. And
I tell you, the only thing I get from training is fucking lower back pain for 3 days if I train.
Hey, but come on. It's just because we were at certain levels, so you think you look like shit. But I was thinking the other day, I don't look so bad for not training,
Huh? I know.
I look at you, Dennis. You look jacked.
I know.
Not
I've been doing it for a while.
Dennis jacked, but you look jacked. Fuck.
No. I mean, you might be right, but I know I look like shit. That's why you don't see. Hey, you don't even see me wear tank tops no more, and I usually wear the shit out of tank tops. And if I do, if I don't wear tank tops anymore, that means I'm not convinced.
Hey,
I own about 2 or 3 of them. That's it. 3 of them.
I don't own a single one because who wants to see my fucking arms?
But the arms is not that bad.
Come on, man. Yeah, I mean, even here, I'm wearing a short sleeve, but I'm covering my arms. You see, by the angle.
I just think you know all the little inches of your
Little thing. Yeah, no good. But listen, what's going to happen with Lee Haney? Because let's not screw it up like last time. Ronnie sent you a text message 30 minutes before we got him.
Yeah. Did you send him a message, Chris?
Oh, shit. Yeah, I did.
Let me send him one, too. Okay, so we said September 27th, 11 a.m., 2 p.m. Eastern Time, which is for him. He's in Atlanta, right?
I'm going to call him.
We're like, they got the right email. He sent me the leeinfo@leehaney.com. Yeah, should be.
Hey,
here.
how's it going? Good, man. We was trying to get you on the Zoom. Get Lee on the Zoom. We was trying to do it right now. You didn't get the email?
Tell him, check his spam.
Maybe in the spam.
Well, I'm going to resend it to him right now.
You sure? Because they got him. You sent them yesterday. Another email? Text it to me. All right. Okay, brother. All right.
Forward. I'm going to send it.
Hero! That's Lee Haney.
I know, bro. I know.
You wait for the king.
Make some room. I just forwarded it to him again. He gave me the...
He said he's going to send another email.
He said leeinfo@leehaney.com, and I had another one.
But he said he's going to text me one right now, supposedly.
Why everybody's always saying they didn't get the email?
Stimulate, not annihilate. There we go. It's a different one.
What is it?
I'm not telling you. I wasn't.
Just copy and forward the email from yesterday.
Do what?
Just copy the email that he just sent you. And
you?
No. Listen, copy the email and then go to the email that you got from Nico and forward that email to Lee Haney.
Oh, shit.
Is that too much?
All right.
Yeah, can you slower down?
Do we know?
What do you mean?
You know how to send an email, Chris?
Yes, I do. He's got to go see the tech. Yes, motherfucker.
Make sure you put the .com at the end.
I didn't know if iPhone 6 already have the email app on there or not. He probably sent you the one with Shirley, right?
Yeah.
Why did I know?
And Shirley.
Shirley at Yahoo.
Yeah.
And I asked him, is this the correct email? And then he sent me the other one. Probably didn't get it. All right, Chris, by the time you forward the email, I forwarded it twice already. For real, though.
Then.
He said,
I don't know.
I send it to him.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, this is MJ. Hey.
So yeah, hey. So let's talk about the Arnold UK.
Yes.
Andrew jacked, clear winner, I would say.
Yeah.
Was he better than Texas?
I don't think so. You see, we were both impressed with the Texas standout. As soon as you saw him, shit, all the eyes goes there. So kind of, we were expecting more of it, especially they said that's 30% to whatever less than what they're going to bring. They didn't bring shit, right? It's the same conditioning, exactly. Or maybe different lights. So he looked even maybe softer from the glutes.
I was about to say that. He's still, but that shows you how good he really is, that he doesn't even have to be in shape and still win shows.
Oh, it was no question. He won. As a matter of fact, they were saying, oh, can he make a first call out looking like that? I would still say, yeah, even looking like that, he could possibly.
You mean at the Olympia?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. You know what? We go back and forth on this thing, and I feel certain ways about it, different parts of the week. And then I start thinking, what? Okay, he has that waist. This area right here, nobody else has that. That etched out area, that waist paper like that, and with that width of his body, it's going to take some time to be like so great. But even in the top 6, it's not a lot of guys shaped like that.
Nobody.
Yeah, they're not shaped like that.
What do you mean not a lot? Not a lot.
You know
No,
what I mean?
yeah, nobody.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I want to have that shape. That could be damaging. The front is so nails. And as we said, the back is where he's going to run into some issues because James had the thickest back in the show, the thickest back from the back. So with that showed, oh shit, that showed his weakness. But there was no one in the Texas show that had that going on that could have made a dent in our thoughts about him.
The closest one was Martin Fitzwater in Texas, and
and he gets lost because he's not there yet. He's too young yet.
You think he placed fourth because he was too small?
He's got lost, man. Even though he looks the best by himself to me. When you get other people up there and start mixing and matching with different bodies and size and thickness and different body parts, you know, and I think he could have been a little bit lighter. I think they tried to go a little too big in his look.
Well, listen, Andrew Jack.
Stomach could have been tighter, all of that.
Andrew Jack, even not being 100% from the front, he gets that illusion of a shape and condition. He has the separated quads, crazy abs, straight the chest.
Doing right.
I mean, he looks spot on from the front. Doesn't matter, you know. Nobody beats him on a relaxed pose, frontal biceps, ab shot. You know, this he can contest anybody at Olympia. Front relax, frontal biceps, ab shot.
Yeah.
Okay, last spread, so and so. Some people complain.
I like his front.
I like his lat.
I like it.
Even his back.
I like it.
Even his back lat spread is not bad. It's just that back double bicep is where you see the flaw.
Yeah. I think that it's freaky how his abs look in the front last spread when he leans back. He looks like a fucking implant.
I was like, what the fuck? I was like, shit.
Yeah.
But the stripes is coming up here. I like that.
Yeah.
That shit.
Side chest, side triceps at Olympia. He's not gonna do very good against some of those guys. You know, those are the poses that 5-6 guys can easily beat him.
But you name some shots that's gonna be very detrimental to your placing. It's just that you can just depend on what they want to do with him when he did that back double bicep. Because
I think the back double biceps weighs a lot.
Yeah,
back double biceps is a shot that maybe made a lot of Olympias. Yeah,
I think that if Andrew, and I like the guy, he's a great personality. I think if he can nail his condition, because I mean, they said that the Texas he was 70%, and now because he planned on coming for the Arnold UK 100%. And
how long has he been training for? Do you know?
I think he's been training for quite some time. He's just not competing. He's just competed once or twice before the Arnold Amateur. I think he did one show for the Elite. Maybe he did a couple of more. Oh no, actually, I talked to his coach, his former coach, Jazim, a guy that I worked with a few years. A long time ago. He trained him in the beginning and in the first couple of shows. So he did a few local shows, and then he did this Elite show that he won to, and then he did the Arnold Amateur. And but if he can bring the condition that is necessary for the Olympia top 6, then absolutely. If he brings that condition, who's going to? How is it not making the top 6?
Oh, it's impossible.
It's not possible.
As Chris said, lot spread from the behind is good. You know, back double biceps, okay. You know, some guys might beat him James Hollingshead beat him in the bendable biceps for sure. But Andrew has that freaky ability. He can look actually more ripped than he is because he has this, crazy deep separations.
Yeah. He looks from a distance. He looks much better shape. That when you get really close and you look at it, you don't see those lines that you.
How about the second guy, Patrick?
Crazy shredded.
Crazy shredded, but doesn't appear.
Yeah.
Look at it from afar. I mean, this was bone dry.
Yeah.
Bone fucking dry, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say, listen, the first time that I thought about it, he was too dry. Too dry that his muscle didn't pop.
The oil didn't even stay on. That skin just sucked all that oil in. He looked dry.
But if you look at it, say if I ask you, can anybody be too dry? You would say, no. What the hell are you talking about? But when you look really deeply, closely, even there's a video of him posing, he's coming out. He looks ripped granite hard, but soft. Hard but soft. You say, shit is not happening, right? It's a muscle is same if he flexes or he doesn't flex. Just pay attention to a couple of comparisons.
Well,
the muscle didn't fibers were not moving.
I think for him it had a little bit to do because he's so black. You don't see all the detail that you see.
Too black.
Yeah, it's a little too black. What I would suggest for him to do, and that would help him, is put a shitload of protein on.
Yeah.
That would enhance his.
And I wonder what type of oil, because I think baby oil would be better on his skin than.
But if he puts protein on, that would enhance his look, just like Andrew, because Andrew puts protein on. You can see that.
Yeah, he has to light up.
Yeah.
Samson in a Boston show, his wife used 2 bottles of oil, and he came out looking dry. It was tricky. And then even for finals, make sure you put the oil. He put the oil, and then William Bonia come. Yeah, Milos, what? You come. Look at him. He's about to get on the stage again, bone dry. The whole bottle of oil went in, and he's drying out by a minute. Oh, Jesus.
Get that old school Pam spray.
Right before, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Somebody says it's not allowed.
What's not allowed?
Yeah, Pam spray.
Why wouldn't it be allowed?
I was serious. Somebody said it what do you mean it's not allowed?
Who knows what oil I have on my body? If I go out there with Pam spray, who would be able to tell?
Supposedly. But I don't know if it's from these people that you pay for tanning and oiling up and stuff like that.
Yeah, but just because you can pay someone to tan, it doesn't mean you have to tan with them.
I don't know. There was some guy that I told him, just get the Pam spray. Oh, it's not allowed. So what do you mean it's not allowed?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We used to travel.
Hey, check on Lee.
Not yet.
I was
not
asking
yet.
did you get it? I didn't hear back.
So what about James? What do you guys think about James Hollingshead? James Hollingshead is usually known for his super dry condition. He had a lot of added size, especially since the Olympia, where he lost a lot. But he didn't. I think if he would have been as dry as he usually steps on stage, I think he would have challenged Andrew a little bit better.
I don't think so. He has no V-taper. Nothing happening. He lifts his arms. Arms are not good. The torso, if you just crop it and look at the pictures, shallow abs. Even his legs that look in decent shape, they were not deeply separated. He is the best from the back shots, and he is good from a side chest, I suppose. He's good, thick. But even that, show me one single striation on his shoulders and chest. One. I mean, it's not happening. And then he is narrow.
Why do you think? Why do you think that is?
Maybe the way he trains and shit like this. I mean,
he trains pretty hardcore. He's like Dorian.
Super heavy. Yeah, but again, you tell me when you look at an atomic chart and you see that every muscle is fibrotic, fibers. I mean, you remember back in the day when we started, you're shredded. Your fibers are going through shoulders and chest and everything. I was paying attention. Okay, let me see if something happens when he squeezes. You can play up and down, right? There was nothing happening. Okay, so when you have no V taper and no quality and no biceps peak, how can you be contending somebody like Andrew Jack that is like that and bursting full? Yeah, I don't think. I mean, not to knock down James, because first we all respect him. He is a top-notch bodybuilder. He trains like a maniac, super strong, probably one of the strongest. So all the respect goes to him. But it's not what you do in the gym, what you bring on the stage.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what you have, it's what you show. And what he was showing for me, front out biceps, beatable, front lat spread, very beatable, front relaxed, nothing. I mean, even his posing routine, first thing that he did ab shot.
I know.
You don't have abs.
I know.
I mean, you're supposed to do your 10 best poses in the beginning to say, wow, judge is going to look, this shot.
But even the front lat spread is not great. And he was showcasing that like it was the next thing coming to America. It's like, but if you hold it, I never held it. I like my lat spread. I never held it in 3 different areas holding the same pose.
Because, but that's what the amateurs, we as an amateur, we used to do. You remember that when you got to show it to all judges when you you turn to the sides.
Okay, but listen, but most of these guys are walking around the stage like they're guest posing and shit.
Yeah.
It's like those precious moments you wasting walking over there, you got your head down. Some of them, even Martin's coming out, his head down, walking out to the thing. If you're walking to a damn funeral and shit, you gotta have some personality walking out there and showing some I'm here to do business. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I hear you.
All business, right?
And again, like every single time in the last, I don't know how many years, Lionel Bayegi pulls out last minute.
Do you think that's from that case and stuff, or what do you think?
What else could it be? He's probably, I don't know, he's probably blacklisted.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can see, because I mean, if you can't make it to the U.S.,
yeah,
if you can't,
just trying to make a living, man.
If you can't even go from France to England, which is right next to each other, that means you got to be on. You got to be on some list. I don't know. It's just sad to see because
that's a fucked up list.
But it's.
Hey, they used to pull my ass over every time. Like, I know I'm going to secondary. I get it.
You already prepared for secondary.
I'm already going to secondary. I love. It'll be a minute before y'all let me in this.
Yeah. I'll catch you guys at the baggage claim.
I'll see y'all later. I'll see you back in America. This is gonna be a minute.
Yeah, but here's the thing for me. I mean, you prepare for a show. You do all this damage to your body with training, and then you're not even sure if you can compete. Why don't you settle this stuff and get that sorted before you start preparing for shows? Because at the end of the day now, I don't think he'll ever get another invite.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. But listen, I got to ask you again, because I'm not going to be a biased coach, because I'm a head coach. What did you guys think of Jamie, the Giant?
I think he's improved. I think that's the best I've seen for myself. He just got so much area to work with. I think you have to be super. You got to come with some poses that's gonna be really showcase your body the best. And I don't know what that's like at that height, because I never really been that close up to him like that in that manner. But.
So Chris, you thinking it's because of the posing?
No, I said some of his poses is gonna have to be really well thought out.
All right, I'm gonna keep it real with you, Milos.
Well thought out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it real.
Yeah.
Fuck the posing. I'm not judging the posing right now. He's doing very good for the stature that he has, but he needs so much more mass in order to stand really out, because he's so tall. You know, he needs more mass to hang with these guys. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at
he has everything
proportionally.
Yeah, proportion. He's got great proportions. He just needs to be bigger.
Yeah, I know. Look, so for him, it's actually the opposite. I'm going to say.
Man, he could have. He said he didn't get it.
I sent it to him twice now, to both emails.
Oh shit! Can you copy paste send him on a text message?
Yeah. The link. Okay, let me go to the email. Here's the link. Copy link. Message Lee Haney.
I'm gonna send you the.
It's a direct link, right, Nico?
Come on, rope. It's right there.
Anyways, Milos, yeah.
They're sending me.
I think if he overall gets bigger everywhere, then he's a fucking machine.
Yeah, but listen again. Just think of 6'5", like 2 meters, right? I mean, how much bigger your muscle can get. But him standing next to anybody else, he is so much wider. V-taper, crazy. Nobody has that front lat spread. I mean, he was standing right next to in my video on Instagram. Look, when Andrew Jack was standing right next to him, he's the only one that is actually as wide or wider than Andrew. So when he was next to Martin, I mean, Martin looked like a little child next to him. I mean, really, the truth. Thickness, okay, but you look actual muscle, quad. Look at the actual muscle in the chest and shoulders and arms.
I'm sure I'm sure, and I've seen him in person. I mean, you stand in front of him, he looks totally different. But judging him on stage, he sees, it looks like he's not as full and round and muscular as some of these guys.
As the shorter guys, yeah. I still think that, people and judges should consider that's a 6'5" frame. You can just go so far, right? You can expect to have the same proportion of the guy that is 5'2".
Okay, so what are the judges supposed to do? Oh, okay, he's 6'5". He can't get any bigger.
No, but shape-wise, V-taper-wise, he beats them, right?
Yeah.
Fullness-wise, I mean, he was fully loaded as far as chest, shoulders, arms. I think he was competitive under the look.
Well, of course he was competitive. Where did he play? Sixth.
6, yeah.
Yeah, so he's.
But here, put him right next to James, and go pose by pose, and you'll see front lat spread, lights out over, okay, lights out over. Front double biceps, same thing. Nothing happening for James, right? Okay, side chest, yeah. James has thicker, maybe, but again, when he turns around and he gains this illusion of the wood, compared him. Side chest is the same thing. I mean, super comparable. Even though he is Khalifa, fucking building in Dubai, right? So super tall. He has the beauty. Side triceps, just think of beauty. Side chest, very, very good. It's in everybody's mind. He's too tall and not thick enough. He still needs 20 pounds of muscle. But actually compare them. Put them right next to it. I'm telling you.
Oh, here's Lee.
Then back double biceps. James wins hands down for sure. Light spread. Okay, give it to James. Turn around.
Lee! Hey, I told you, we waiting for you, man.
Man, my feelings was just about hurt, man.
We champions. We don't give up. We waiting.
I really start crying, man.
Lee,
I see those watery eyes and say, "No, champ."
Hey, Lee, try to turn your phone sideways so we can get you full screen.
Sideways. Hey, man, if I turn it sideways, I'm so big, I still won't fit it. Yeah, right. That's a good joke.
That's why there's sheep and there's shepherds, Lee.
Yeah. That's right. Is that working now?
No, you completely sideways.
I ain't think so, man. I don't know how to do those stuff.
I think it. I think it's locked. I was doing that when I first got on too.
Yeah.
His phone is like, "Hi, Lee."
Hey, how you doing, my man? How you doing, Milos?
Good to see you. It's just a pleasure.
Yeah, let me say that too.
Pleasure's mine.
Let me say that too.
First of all, I know this is Dennis's show, but I just got to say, man, I'm your number one fan.
All right. Now let me say something. I'm your number one fan.
I'm the number one fan.
No. Here's.
Bodybuilding
Excuse me, guys.
Hey, man, when I'm gonna set up a GoFundMe, y'all can just put all the funds.
We will.
My way, okay?
We absolutely will. I just want to say it is totally awesome for you to have you on this podcast, Lee, and I can't wait for the fans to get to see some of you because. You retired back in, when was it?
91.
91. 91.
Yeah,
And
91.
and people still look at you and look up to you to this day. It's ridiculous, you know. And I always said the same thing. I said Lee was Lee Haney and Kevin Lerone was the ones that made me want to bodybuild and be a bodybuilder. And I remember I watched your first, I don't know, was it the first training video that I saw, where you were training with rope men.
Yeah.
And you know, and I remember that video, man. That was the very beginning when I started lifting weights. And I even met you way before I even started lifting weights. And I don't know if you remember that. That was a guest appearance you did in Germany.
He didn't remember you, dog.
Hold on. I'm gonna tell him. it was a guest appearance you did in Germany, and it was an inside, like kind of like an indoor recreation center. It was I guess a gym owner. It was like a gym. I don't know, was it a Christmas or whatever it was? Some fest where they had you as a guest poser, and I remember Shirley was there too. And I remember after the guest poser, before you left, and you probably don't remember this. But I was there with this guy. I didn't even know who was who. I just know you. And he asked you, I said, so what about Rich Kaspari next year? And I remember, I quote you. I'll never forget this. He said, I'm going to whoop him just like I did last year.
And I whooped him too.
Yes, it's so awesome. It's so awesome. So, Lee, we were just talking about the Arnold UK. And then Chris mentioned that you put a statement out about them, mentioning your name. Can you explain what really happened there? Why you went so far to put out a statement? What was the reason for that?
Well, I had some fans to reach out to me saying, Mr. Haney, I purchased tickets to the Arnold UK, and I now understand you're not going to be there. And, and he was not the only fan. So I just wanted to make it clear that it wasn't a fault on my side, because wherever I'm contracted to be, I make sure I'm there. So no one in the sport of bodybuilding doing any seminars anywhere in the world can say Lee Haney didn't hold up his part of the bargain.
Right.
With this situation, we were in negotiations several months prior to that, nearly almost a year. And it just never came through, so it was, wasn't so much back and forth. It was just, the promoter just didn't follow through.
Right.
So I just wanted to make it clear to the fans that it wasn't my fault.
Gotcha.
Although they were advertising me as being one of the heroes, having not fulfilled their end of the contract. So, which was a travesty to the fans there in the UK.
Right. Oh, okay. So that makes a whole lot of sense. So they were selling tickets, offering Lee Haney to be there.
Without business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, man. So I feel like when you were the first national champion, correctly?
Yes.
First national champion. So how did you start like bodybuilding and what makes you want to get into competition? I know you played football and you got injured your leg or something like that.
Right, man. Listen, the whole deal was to beat Jim Brown. But every year, man, the first year in high school, I broke my right leg after the second game. The next year, senior year, I broke my ankle after the fifth game. And coach would say, "Hey, get out there and break a leg." And that's exactly what I was doing.
Breaking a leg.
I was always in the gym getting ready to come back for the next year and kept getting bigger and bigger. And I said, man, you know what? Maybe I need to, lean more towards bodybuilding. And glad I did, because, I ended up excelling and winning winning first the Mr. South and the Mr. Palmetto when I was just 18 years old, beating men that was in their 30s and 40s. So that said to me that, I had potential, right, and I just continued to work forward and accomplishing that.
Man, I patterned my whole career after you, Lee. So, forget these other two guys up here. You can block them. No, I'm kidding.
I'm going to say this. I'm the only one that actually had a chance to stand right next to Lee Haney in the 91 Olympia. I competed with Lee.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah.
Oh, stop bragging.
Please. But I want to tell you this,
Sit
guys,
next to
because
everybody.
really,
No, I'm kidding.
okay, you say Lee Haney, you think class on his own. We all agree. I mean, class on his own, best bodybuilder of all time by none. Retired with 8 Olympia titles at the age of 31. How much further he could
Was it
go?
31 or 32, Lee? I think 32.
No,
was
he's
31.
November.
He's
He's
31?
November.
Damn.
He's 31.
So you won at 24, the first one, right?
Right.
People always ask how I got here. I was willing to work just a little harder than everyone else. Every damn day. If I can have hundreds of hours back, you know I'm gonna grab them. Spending hours prepping chicken, rice, and vegetables, F that. I rely on perfect nutrition. I rely on trifecta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
But Lee, you competed in AAU before, right? Before you went 82 to the NPC.
Yes, I won the AAU Teenage America in 1979, and I placed 4th in the Miss USA in 1980. That was AAU also. So, but then in 1982, the NPC formed, and I was the first junior national NPC champion, and then the first national NPC champion.
Damn, just winning everything.
And the same
Yeah,
year
man.
you won the world championship, right?
Right.
So 82, you cleaned the house. World nationals in junior.
Yes.
Okay, so I got to ask you right away, because I talked to Jay Cutler and we talked to Ronnie Coleman last year about winner's mentality. Jay Cutler, for example, he thinks right away he's going to win. 99, he expected to be compared with the Ronnie Coleman. He placed 15th, but he says, I honestly thought they're going to call me with Ronnie, and I'm going to go there and I'm going to win. So his whole mindset was winning, I can win. Ronnie Coleman said, last time we talked, 89, he didn't think he's going to win, right? The 98, he's not going to win. And 99, again, he didn't think he's going to win. You only competed one time in the Olympia that you lost, 83, but then you start dominating. Did you believe even in 83 you're going to win?
Well, I tell you what, man, 83 was, I had won everything up to that point, but something went wrong. And when you have that thing that goes wrong, it didn't kill my confidence, but it did leave me with a feeling of I'm not at my very best. Because in 1983, I peaked at 243 pounds 4 weeks before the Olympia. And Arnold saw me at World's Gym and he said, Lee, how is it that you're in this type of condition 4 weeks out from the show? And I just shrugged my shoulders like, I don't know. And so, but on the day of the Olympia, I only weighed 233 pounds. So I lost 10 pounds within the matter of 4 weeks.
Damn.
I understood what was happening afterwards, but at the time, I just didn't have enough science available to me to know how to peak correctly. What I did winning the Nationals, the IFBB World Championship, great, fine and dandy. But the Olympia was a whole nother deal. So when you drop 10 pounds and you look the way you did, and then all of a sudden you're 10 pounds smaller, it leaves a chance of doubt. I still looked at the fact that, I was on the stage with the best Olympians, and I was blessed to be a part of the tail end of that era, which you had Frank Zane, you had Albert Beckles, you had Roy Callender, you had Tom Platz, Joseph Wilcox, Muhammad McCalloway, and of course, Lebanon Lion Samir. So,
Right.
Man, look, I was a kid up there. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. But you just don't know. But
Right.
with that attitude, winning attitude, yes, I still had that. But as far as beating those guys at that level, Yeah, I was happy just to be there.
Okay, but 84?
What's that, Milo?
How about 84 next year?
Oh, guess what? I went into 1984 weighing 243 pounds. The same weight I was 4 weeks before 1983. If I had been 243 in 1983, I feel it would have been totally different.
You would have probably nine. You would have 9 Olympias right now.
I think so. But, there was one thing, too, that I recall after, 1983, when we had the after party there in Germany. Albert Busek put on that show. Great show.
Munich.
Great promoter. Great man. Arnold walked over to me while I was sitting, me and my wife Shirley, and he said, Lee, your physique was fantastic. You look great, great symmetry, great balance. But he said, your posing is still that of an amateur. He said, until you get that right, and when you get that right, you can dominate. He said, listen, once we get back to California, because I lived in LA during that time, he said, I want you to come to my office. I'm going to introduce you to my posing coach. And once you connect with her, then you're on your own and you can accomplish whatever you want to do in the world of bodybuilding. And I was there to meet her. She coached me, and the rest was
history.
Rest is history.
History, yes.
So, you stand on stage with cats like Albert Beckles and Samir, and man, look, you can't take an NPC national routine to the Olympia stage. It's just not going to work.
Yeah.
Lee, with that being said, do you feel that was one of the main things that got you over the hump is the importance of posing? And obviously you've done this in the off season. So can you tell the listeners how important you feel the posing is to your to your success? Oh yeah, man.
Posing, as you know, during that era, Chris, and yours too, and Milos, and all of us, we had to make sure that our posing routine was on par, because there was a point system dealing with that. Today that's not the case. I think it's slowly trying to make its way back, but the artistry of posing was extremely important during the era in which I came through and some of you came through. So, your ability to display your physique, I think is extremely important. If you really want to be an artist, and I learned from the best of them. You looked at Frank Zane, you looked at Ed Corney, you looked at Albert Beckles, Tom Platz, Arnold, everybody. These guys are just beautiful. And you guys are beautiful. That's something I miss in seeing bodybuilding now.
For sure.
Lee, I have a question. I have a question for you. The same question I asked Ronnie last week. We had Ronnie on. And I said, after how many Olympias were you at a point where you're so confident where you said, I'm locked in, there ain't nobody going to take this from me no more? How many Olympias did that take?
It took 8 of them.
Really?
And, the thing about it, when you're on the top, ain't nowhere to go but down.
Right.
So every year you're trying to find out, what can I do better to get better, to stay in this position? Because, you always had guys like, Lee and Mike Christian and
Rich Gaspari.
Milos chopping at the bits, trying to take my cookie, man. So I had to make sure that I was on top of the game. And to a great extent, I ended up overtraining a bit, and that can cause you to do that. You're looking for this formula, that formula, and you can sort of get off track, because I felt that 1991, I was in the best shape ever. And not because I trained harder, but actually because I trained a bit less as far as volume was concerned. So my muscles stayed full. My weight was at 254 pounds, whereby previously it was at 248, something along those lines. I stayed with my training system of 3 on off 1, because it was a tendency of mine about 5-6 weeks out, I would go to a straight 6. Straight 6 take more time to recover. And as a result, my muscles didn't fill out as much. So when I made that difference, it made a difference in how I looked. So,
That's great info. So you're saying that sticking to 3 on, 1 off was better for you?
yes, it was definitely better for me.
So you're doing twice a day too?
Yes, I was going twice a day. That's always been the best system, whereby you give the body enough time to recover. You get some more protein, some more carbs in the system. You take a nap so the body can produce more natural growth hormone, and you grow.
Right.
And that's one of the things when I trained Evander Holyfield that was real important, to make sure Evander had 3 naps a day, and that gave him better recovery time.
And I was feeding off of all of this because you was training Evander. That was my hero. You was already my hero. So I fed off of you guys when you were training him. I fed off of you when you was in Venice. I wanted to go to Venice. I wore the red trunks every time. Everybody know I'm wearing Lee Haney red. That's what I'm wearing. Every night show, I'm in Lee Haney red. So I know you was the rabbit and they was the hound dog.
That's right.
I'm really glad.
Always eat your dust.
Yeah, I'm really glad.
That time. Let's go, hound dog.
That's right.
That's my lead.
I'm really glad, though.
Hey,
Hold on, Chris. I'm really glad you mentioned that with the napping, and you had somebody nap me. Holyfield nap 3 times a day, because when I look back, when I got at my biggest, where I didn't know why all of a sudden I'm growing like this. This is when I was literally just eating, sleeping, training, and that's it. I was napping several times throughout the day, and I'm talking about 30 to 45 minutes, maybe an hour.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And that's when Milos, you know that time. I literally came back from the gym in the morning. I went to bed and I ate in bed. My wife would just bring the food to the bed. I wouldn't even get up. I would be down all day until I go back to the gym. That was the best time.
Kevin Levrone said the same thing. He says babies grow when they sleep. So he was trying to sleep 12 hours a day. 12.
Yeah, I wish I could do that.
I'm just going to say this because maybe you guys were still not there. I was there in 91. I know everything that was going into the show.
Rub it in.
Going in 91 Olympia, last Olympia for Lee Haney. He signed with Muscular Development, right? So there was like notion to say, it's not with Weider. He's maybe not going to be judged.
Yeah,
twin lab.
Yeah, that was the thing. And then Dorian Yates is coming. Sean Ray was speaking so loudly. He's going to take Lee's car and the house and this and that, right? Lee Labrada believed because he plays twice second to Lee. Gaspari was there everywhere. I remember that press conference. Lee was most relaxed, most calm, just giving everybody, a good vibe. We go to the athletes meeting. Lee was first in a room, and anybody that walks, he would come up to us. I remember he came to me, Milos, what's your name? Yugoslavian, good luck. Just like he's inviting you to your home. He does comfort, like hospitality. I mean, I was just like floored. And then we go backstage. So backstage, Dorian is all hyped up, serious, right? Labrada, Sean, and Lee is just talking to some people on the side. Talking. He's not pumping up at all. And they called 15 minutes, right? And, we're all watching. How is Lee looking? And he's still not doing anything. And then Lee walks, to the mirror and just unzip his jacket. And everybody, the jaw just dropped. He didn't do the single push-up. He didn't do nothing. Chest, back. It was Sean Ray just sit down. Dorian had a dead face. Labrada just, show was over right there, 91. But I'm just going to say one more thing because I talk too much. Chris and I went 1988 to Olympia when you won, Lee. And that was first time I see you live. And up until this point, you look at the pictures of the magazine. Yeah, Lee looks great. He's the best. But not until you see Lee on a stage in person. Same thing. He walk on the stage. The second he turns around in the front relaxed pose, show was over. There was no question. There was Lee put him on side, and then everybody else. So that's kind of dominance that you had. Finally, 92 Olympia. I'm 100% sure you would dominate that as well if you went for it.
Oh, yeah, you would.
Yeah. Would you, I mean, you were 8, you're so close to 10. Did it ever cross your mind, okay, let me just, pick up the 10 and then I'll pack my bags? Or Chile told you now it's enough?
Well, you know what? After the 8th Olympia, it was like I exhaled, like all the air, like, because as I said, when you're on the top, you're always thinking, okay, what do I need to do to stay here? And, and so not that you're living in fear or anything like that, but you just work so hard. After the 7th Olympia, I recall after the 7th Olympia, I sat down with my wife, Shirley. I said, okay, baby, I've done 7 Olympia in a row. Nobody has ever did 7 Olympias in a row. And, what do you think? And, Shirley was an athlete. She played track and field, volleyball, basketball. And she says, what are you talking about? You got to go for an 8th Olympia. What's the matter with you? I mean, that's my wife, man. She's a tough girl. And so anyway, I decided to go ahead. But prior to that, after that 7th Olympia, it was like the day after, my body was just so racked with pain. It's like everything was hurting. Everything was hurting. I didn't know whether I had enough to go on and do it again because of the pain, so I, recovered. I went on the detox program. I detoxed my kidney, my liver, my bloodstream, urinary system, my colon. I gave the body some rest, and I went on with what is called a 3-day circuit, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, where, arms and chest Monday, legs Wednesday, back and shoulders Friday. I did that for roughly around 3 weeks or so. And by doing that, it gave my body enough time to recover. And so during about a month and a half into that, and just eating good and clean, because I've always been a big vegetable and fruit. I never was a red meat person. I never did sodas and crazy stuff like that. Sweet potatoes, spinach, pretty much always been my deal. And so I did that, and it allowed my body to recover. And so I was ready to go after that. I felt good, no more pain, and then I was able to press forward. But after that 8th Olympia, I had no desire to go on anymore because I did what I set out to accomplish. And then I wanted to use my faith and my notoriety in other areas. I had a show waiting on me for the ESPN, Lee Haney's championship workout.
Oh, yeah.
And then I had, I got all these calls trying to come in. Excuse me for going back and forth.
What do you call it?
Yeah. So I should have put on the
So Lee,
anyway, man, I had all these things going on, and so I wanted to venture out another business thing. I had started investing in real estate.
The ranch or something like that, correct?
Oh, what's that, Chris?
Do you have a ranch?
Yeah, I had a 40-acre ranch. So I had a mentoring program, and still have the mentoring program for boys. I had the show on the Trinity Broadcast Network, Lee Haney's championship workout. Then I had the show on ESPN, then Sports South. So I was doing a lot of different things, and I was training Evander Holyfield, Gary Sheffield, Shannon Sharp. So all of these different opportunities was coming my way, and I wanted to fulfill them.
Did you know prior to the 91 Olympia that this is going to be your last one? Did you know that? Did your mind was made up?
Oh, yeah. My mind was made up. I never thought about 92, and I hear people sometimes say, well, he was thinking Dorian was coming, and that's no. That was not the case.
But nobody knew prior to the Olympia that you would retire afterwards.
No, I never made an announcement.
Right.
I guess I stepped in the same way I stepped out, Hey, look, you got to know when to hold them, when to fold them. And the cool thing about it, and which I'm glad, I walked out. I mean, listen, as I said, around the 7th Olympia, my body was racked with pain. Then, I was able to endure the 8th one. Now, I felt great at the 8th one. I mean, no pain. Matter of fact, the training intensity, as I said earlier, the intensity was there, but the volume had been lowered, and the 3-on-off one really helped me push through. Mm-hmm. So I recovered. So all of those things was beneficial to me. One thing that you got to be careful as an athlete is staying too long. Staying too long can really bring harm to your body. Mm-hmm. Generally you want to compete as athletes when your testosterone levels and growth hormone levels are relatively high. Right. When they start to dip, that's when injuries come in. Injuries that you may not be able to recover from. So I left at age of 31. Most athletes, be it football or so-and-so, they generally leave around 32, 34, 35. Right. Or else you better have a clear understanding of the science to press on in bodybuilding. You look at Dexter. Dexter still looked great the whole time. Dexter was very smart. They'd understood the science of how to go about training. Now the guys do this crazy stuff using tons of weight. I mean, you hear injury after injury, and a lot of them train like power lifters. You can't take powerlifting into bodybuilding. I mean, some movements you can do, but if you try that for a long period of time, you're going to be injured, probably to the point of no return.
Something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Did you ever have an injury ever in your whole career?
No injuries. None whatsoever. I have no knee, no hip, no back problems, no shoulder problems whatsoever.
Yeah, that's a perfect.
We're going to take you for another run. Let's do another run, baby.
Come on. Hey, Chris, I'm just a pretty boy now. I just want to be pretty for Miss Haney to play with his grandkids.
That's a perfect career, though. You got eight Olympias, no injuries, out by 31. I mean, I didn't even turn pro till I was 32. So if you see that, that's perfect scenario.
You know what? I really attribute that to learning and reading real early. I would study Robbie Robinson. I would study Roy Callender. I would study, God rest his soul, Bill Pearl. Reading it and absorbing this information and then applying it to my training. And the philosophy of stimulate, don't annihilate. And so that philosophy it'll carry you further. And to keep you healthy. But if you go out with a, at all costs type of attitude, some bad stuff's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Robbie Robinson, because that was my mentor as a teenager and growing up into my career. So you understand where my mentality comes from.
You had the physique too, Chris. You had the physique to show it too, baby. All of y'all brothers were pretty, man. I mean, pretty. Ain't nothing like pretty.
Exactly.
Hey, I miss pretty.
I was going to say, Lee, so I patterned, like I wanted to be the weight you were. I wanted to be everything. I mean, you had that thick lat spread, which I wish I would have had. But I felt like you, just the way you carried yourself, your philosophy, as you said, and just the way you were out giving information to the fans all the time. You always had some kind of slogan, some kind of saying, some type of poem or whatever it was. You was doing all that, and I think the sport has missed a champion like yourself, because we haven't had anyone since the 80s that did all those things. That was boisterous, that was borderline cocky, but delivered every time. And, Dorian was kind of quiet. He just went off to himself. But you just stayed out there. You stayed out there, even though they didn't put you on the Mr. Muscle and Fitness cover like they should have, as many times as you should have, but because you were just that great. But we haven't had any other champions that was sort of like you. And you just remain my number one forever, for sure.
Yeah, thanks, man.
For all of us. For all of us, really. Lee, I'm going to express probably opinion about all of us. You are regarded as the biggest gentleman of the sport. I take my hat off to you. I was nobody. You treated me like your equal, and I'll never forget that. And I remember very well one time at the Arnold Classic, I was signing the pictures, and I see with the corner of my eye, you were in my line waiting. I said, oh my God, Lee, come here. You know, like, I just want to say hello. You respected the fact that there was like few people in between. You waited until I sent photos for them to come and talk to me. I mean, my heart is full to this moment. Every time I've seen you in the airport with Olympia, I remember taking all these pictures. You always gave me the time and treated me like I'm your brother and best friend. And I see you do this with everybody. So I commend you for that. Your energy is just like overwhelming. You have bright lights to all of us.
But don't you think the same still to this day? When Lee steps into a room, you can feel it.
Yeah.
Last time I saw Lee was in where was it? What show was it? Nico, where were we? When Lee walks into the room, or when you know he's in there, you can feel that there's something special happening right now.
You can feel him behind you.
You can feel it. Yeah, you can feel it. And being retired for so long and still have that aura around you, for me, it's crazy. It's crazy. Not really. Goosebumps. Lee, totally goosebumps.
Hey. Hey, and then you have that gym, the Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
Man,
You still have it? You still have it?
No, man. That was years ago.
Was it too much headache?
Man. I had an Animal Kingdom shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Rag on. Hey, you did it. I felt like I could do it too.
Quick question for you guys. Milos and Chris, question for you two. Give me your favorite Lee Haney picture.
The one in the jeans.
New York.
Yeah, New York. Yes.
New York last year with the smoke coming up.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
That's an epic.
The steam coming up.
But I'm gonna say
that one.
We can only talk one at a time, guys. We gotta. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I bought that one in '88. I stood in line at the Olympia, bought the tape and the shirt and the photo, and I was happy as a pig in manure.
Go ahead, Milos.
I'll say 1989. I was at the NPC Cal, which Flex Wheeler won as a light heavyweight. I was in a heavyweight, and Flex won overall. And Lee Haney was guest posing. I mean, in incredible shape, posing routine like Lee. You know that you just glued to every movement, every transition, facial expression. I mean, you take that stage and we feel it, which is completely missing nowadays. Which is second question that I'm going to ask you. But next day there was a seminar in Gold's Gym, Gold's Gym San Diego, and you were there. Flex Wheeler and I attended. And probably we both asked at least like 5-6 questions that to the point that I was nobody, of course, and Flex just won the show. But you took so much time to explain everything that I went from that seminar and went straight to the gym and said, okay, I'm going to make it to that Olympia. And I made it within 2 years, thanks to many of your advices. Thank you. Now, I don't want to put you in trouble for saying this, but you mentioned posing. We argue with Bob Ciccariello in one of these shows why they took the posing round away. They're not judging it. Did something good for the sport or a bad? So I want to know your opinion. Would you still bring back the judging like it was back in the 80s and 90s? Symmetry round, muscularity round, and a posing round, or you think what they're doing now is okay?
Well, I think posing is always important. I think that was the magic of bodybuilding. You know, it's almost like muscular ballet. I mean, your body spoke with the music. I never will forget the music that I chose I used for several of my Mr. Olympias, Excalibur. You know, which was absolutely incredible. When I heard the music for the first time, when I went to see King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, it gave me goosebumps. I pictured in my mind that king being reborn or Excalibur being reborn. And so when you feel that as a bodybuilder, you're able to communicate that with your body, it's out of this world. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's an art in itself. And I would hate to see it vanishes. You know, I never will forget seeing Tom Platz pose to Run Like the Wind. Beautiful.
Oh yeah. I
Then I saw, when he popped his hand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Everything went crazy. And
I love it.
Frank Zane, on what was that movie Frank posed to Run, something he did. But man, it was so beautiful. Da, da, da. And I mean, it was out of this world. Then Ed Corney, oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
So I think it definitely need to be that. I don't really get off of guys. If you're going to do your posing routine, do it. But once the routine is over, okay, then we can walk across the stage and, say, come on, clap for me. I say give the people something to clap for. Then you don't have to do that.
Oh yeah.
Come on, clap for me.
Hey Lee, one thing. Did you think Arnold should have beat Menzer in that one over there in Australia, that Olympia?
I tell you what, I saw Arnold's legs were real weak, period.
Yeah.
Not on the miss, I thought Tom Platz should have placed ahead of Arnold.
Right.
I thought that really hurt the sport during that era. It really hurt the sport. Because it was obvious. If you're really talking about Mr. Olympia, Arnold wasn't at his best. I think for PR reasons, because the movies was happening, it was, I guess, maybe it was important to happen for the sport, but it was totally unfair to the athletes because the best should have won. We're talking bodybuilding. We're not talking PR for a movie set.
Exactly. That's why you're my number one.
One more thing, because Lee, you lost to Mohamed Maccabi several times, right? In '83, I think. Yeah, there was a few shows. He was half your size, right?
Right.
How did you look on that at the time?
Well, listen, Mohamed, as I said earlier, when you're on stage with a master like that, and he's able to position his body, show all of his strength, Mohamed never, you would always catch him at an angle. He would never hit straight on.
Yeah.
You knew exactly. If he had a weakness, you would never see it.
Right.
He beat my butt all over Europe. And I really learned from that. I learned from it. I enjoyed the experience, love him today. And but the next year, I had him on a sandwich. He was my meat.
How heavy, Lee? How heavy did you go? How heavy did you go in off season?
I generally stayed around maybe 12 to 15 pounds over competition weight.
That's it.
That's it. Because what I would do in off season is try to redistribute and turn that 15 pounds into crisp, hard weight as possible. So by keeping the body fat under control, I didn't have to go on any kind of crazy diets, and then of course I wanted to be ready in case the telephone rang, I need to go out for a guest appearance.
Right.
So because of staying within striking distance like that, I was able to put on good quality muscle and keep my waist at 31 and a half, which was important during that era.
Yeah.
Yeah, that crazy back of yours, do you think it's genetics or the way you trained?
Well, it's the way I train. And the deal is born genetically with a small set of hips. That really made the back explode a whole lot more because hip structure is something you either have or you don't have. And I was blessed to have it. I never will forget Joseph Wilcox. We were together somewhere backstage guest posing, and Joseph stopped me in my tracks and said, "Lee, come here. Let me look. Turn around." He said, "Where's your butt? You don't have no butt, So I still laugh about that, Yeah.
Oh man, that was awesome. Awesome time. I believe.
But that was fun, man.
Let me jump in. 1990, there was a drug tested contest, correct?
Where now?
In 1990, there
Chicago,
was a drug tested Olympia. 1990 was the drug tested Olympia.
Right? Where was it?
I think it was Chicago. If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
Chicago. Oh, yeah, Chicago. Yes.
So you guys all had to, really do it naturally.
Yeah, we had to pee in the cup. Yep.
Yeah. And how much did you weigh on that show?
I weighed roughly around 242 pounds, 243.
So still pretty much at the 240 plus level. So
Right.
yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because there was like rumors, like you were not as big at the time. I didn't see the show. I've seen a few video footages, and Lila Brother and Show Ray said like, oh yeah, they believed that you're beatable, and that's why 1991 they came with a hope. In 1991, you just shut everybody's hope. But you said yourself, 91 is your best. Didn't you ever think like, oh, can I go even step higher? If this is Lee Haney's best, and Lee Haney is the best bodybuilder of all time, what would be if I continue for another year or two? I mean, you were young, injury-free. I know you already said it was time to turn the page, but did you ever project like, okay, what if I could put another 10 pounds of quality muscle? That would be forever unseen.
Well, you know what? For that 10 pounds of extra quality muscle, there's things that you have to do. You got to eat more. You got to train heavier because the body works in the way of demand and supply. Okay. Yeah. I've always known that I didn't have to be bigger to be pretty. You see, Frank Zane proved that. Samir Bannout proved that. Then you had Muhammad McCoway proved that. Albert Beckles proved that. It was all about the quality, the lines, the muscle separation, the presentation. So big don't win competitions, at least not during that era. So I've always known that if I can look like Robbie, if I can look like Arnold, if I can move like Frank Zane, who's going to stop that? Yeah. Because bodybuilding said, okay, this is what we want to see. This is what you got to look like. And I created a picture of looking like that. So even when me and Dorian competed, I was way ahead of him with muscle maturity, symmetry, balance. I had taken my time to develop that physique. Dorian was just sort of in the beginning stages of it. So I didn't think anybody could beat that. And when I finished. And as far as adding another 10 pounds, no. Because when you look at 1984 to 1991, I weighed 243 pounds in 1984. I weighed 254 pounds in 1991. So in that period of time, roughly 8 years, I only gained, 11 pounds?
Yes.
But it was everywhere that it needed to be. That was almost like a pound a year. But it was exactly where it needed to be without creating this blocky appearance or this unequal balance in the physique. See, it's artistry. That's what we want out of bodybuilding, artistry, not just a big blocky bobblehead body.
And you used to always say that, like, there's something wrong when there's more quantity than quality. And that always stuck in my mind throughout my whole career and still to this day.
Speaking of that, do you agree with Dorian dominating 90s over people like Kevin, Flex, Sean, Chris?
No.
I mean, if you were the judge, we have to say, with all respect, Dorian, he accomplished unbelievable in a very competitive era. But when you look at really his physique next to Kevin or Flex, Sean, Chris Cormier, right? You just said artistry. Artistry is shape, balance. Dorian was more into the brutal size definition, right? It was not the same beauty in my eyes. I'm just curious how, if you would judge early 90s, would you have a Dorian winning or some of the other guys that I mentioned?
Well, bodybuilding started to take a turn after I left. I think, Dorian's a big guy. Lee Haney's big, but he wasn't big and symmetrical. Two different deals. He wasn't big with with the type of muscle separation and completion, not knocking his physique. It was a different type of physique. So to my era, I felt you guys were part of my era. We maintained that look. Dorian look became more massive, and so that's where bodybuilding has ended up now. It's more massive, but it's a difference in the quality. It's a difference in the training principles. A lot of the guys now train each body part once every 6 days. Well, I never heard of that with high volume. Arnold did a straight 6. I came along and did a 3-on-off-1. Now it's a whole nother deal where the guys are bigger, but the muscle separation is not there. And the beauty of the physique is not there. So Dorian sort of brought in another era. I don't say era like wrong, but another era in the bodybuilding. So bodybuilders say, okay, now this is what we want to see. And now Chris, you got Chris Bumstead. They're back saying what we said during our era. This is what bodybuilding is what we want it to look like. So, and listen, I don't knock anybody on any level. It's something for everybody now in the world of bodybuilding. But, all of us love our era better,
So, but Lee, when you look at the guys, when you look at the lineup today, and I think you did the broadcast with them last year. Was it last year or 2 years ago? Last year, right?
Last year.
So when you look at the lineups today, from the guys out there right now, who is your favorite bodybuilder that you think that whose physique do you like the most at this point?
You diet down, train hard, and supplement smart for months. When the time comes to step on stage, don't leave your tan to chance. Go with the pros. Pro Tan. #1 worldwide since 1987 and the official sponsor of the Olympia for the last 15 years. Don't step on stage without it. Pro Tan.
I like Brandon Curry. I like Brandon. I like the way he tapers and so forth. And we've talked. I would like to see a little bit more muscle separation. And he got to be careful that he don't get into the size game. Nobody's going to outsize Big Randy. You can forget that. Mm-hmm. That's not going to happen. So what you have to do, and if the judge's eyes is on that, is create more muscle quality, more muscle separation. And if Brandon can do this, and he got to do it well, that's the only way you're gonna knock out a champ. You got to hit him with a sledgehammer. That's the only way you're gonna, unthrone him. So, but he's what I see now, as far as the, within the top 2 or 3.
Have you seen this guy, Andrew Jack?
Yeah, I've seen him. Beautiful physique. Great separation. I liked him. I saw him here recently. He's just won in the UK, correct?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Looks very good. I liked his muscle separation, muscle maturity. I tell you what, I saw the Olympia last time. Heidi had the best muscle maturity on stage that day. Period.
Right.
So I would put him up close to that. I think, but as far as muscle, you don't know until you see these guys standing side by side.
Exactly.
It's hard to tell until you see them on stage together.
Yeah. Oh shit, that's him.
Here it is. Last post on the Instagram from Lee Haney, right?
I saw that.
Yeah.
Exactly the topic of the artistry. Yeah, so Lee, I'm sorry to get in trouble, but you're politically avoiding the answer.
Well,
90s, would you give it to Dorian or you would get to the more aesthetic?
Oh, yeah, man. Listen, as I said, our era I thought was magic. I couldn't see, when you're looking at muscle separation, that's where I'm from. That's what bodybuilders supposed to look. Chris, Kevin, yourself, that's bodybuilding, period. You know, I respect Jordan as a great champion, but in my eyes, what I saw during the 90 part of the Olympia, when you, Sean, all of you guys were there, that was beautiful. That was beautiful muscle separation, muscle maturity, incredible presentation. It was all of that.
Man,
Yeah.
I remember seeing you going back and forth with Mike Christian and Goes in Venice. That was that right there it's funny. It was fun. That's what I always thought bodybuilding was. It's just like I said, I patterned myself after you so much, but we were a lot like that when we were in Go's gym. We were just like, jaw jacking and putting like this rep is for you. This rep this is for you. It's for you, Lee. Mike Christian. You was like, and you were talking about his leg. You were talking about you doing leg extensions. This is for you.
I remember that. That's the video that I was talking about too. It was all in. That was all in
It was
there.
like going for the goal, right?
Yeah.
Going for the goal.
Yep.
Yeah, so I was watching.
Me and Mike had a great time,
I was watching
man.
on television, man. I said, I got to get to Venice. I was a teenager watching that, man. I was just like, dang.
Yeah, we had so much fun. Mike, I love Mike. We still talk a lot today, man. I mean, all the time.
Right.
When I first went out to California, man, I didn't know how to catch the bus. I didn't know where to buy food. I didn't know nothing. But Mike was my babysitter.
Yeah.
When I was out there, Lee, don't go there. Come here, Lee. Come and go with me. Let me show you how to get on the bus. So, man, I love Mike. I still love him today. That's my brother, man.
How was your relationship with Joe Weider? I never really.
You know something? I think all of us had a sort of a special relationship with Joe. He would spend time, working with my posing. He would take me out to lunch. He would do all of those things. And the fatherly advice. First moving out to California, he said, Lee, I'd love to have you out here. Then he said, do you have a girl that you're crazy about? I said, yes, I most surely do. He said, well, look, you need to bring her with you because there's a lot of crazy stuff out here. You know what I'm saying? So he gave Shirley a job at the Weider Center. I brought her with me and of course, we went back and got married because I wanted to honor her by having her as my wife. That was important to me. That's how I was raised.
Right.
But Joe was, I've eaten at his house before, him and his beautiful wife. They were just beautiful people to me. And we've had some discussions, nothing heated, but, we've had some different discussions, things, I saw things my way and, he saw them his way, but we understood each other. And I understood him. So it was I miss Joe and Ben and their way of thinking about bodybuilding because it was a passion and a love for them, for bodybuilding through them. The magic and the mystique, I think, has been a bit lost. I really do. Not saying totally, but just the magic of it. You would have, Joe would bring all the Olympians together. I never will forget this big picture we took together. And, Arnold and everybody's there. That haven't happened since Joe has been gone or been. So, maybe to get back to that, I don't know. I think it's gotten a bit too commercialized now, and the guys who, what's that, Chris?
It's all about the gram and falsifying scenes and all this stuff. There's a lot of that.
You know what I would like to see again, because I remember that also that one year they had it when at Lee's time where they did they weighed people in at the press conference.
Yeah. 88.
I think instead of what they did last year, trying to make it this all over the place, just do it the old school wise. Bring these guys out, bring them out in a rope, let them peel off. Just step on the scale because you know how people be like, yeah, I'm 260 when they're 235. Just officially weigh these guys in just to really see how much they weigh.
That would be so cool, man.
Yeah.
That type of match. Those are the kind of things I think we have to take to Dan, and say, okay, Dan, because, listen, Dan didn't put on posing trunks like we did,
Right.
He's a great organizer and so forth, but I'm sure he's always looking for great ideas, to make things better. So, this conversation here, I think if he heard that, he said, "Man, I never thought about that."
Yeah.
So it's up to us to bring that type of stuff and present it.
Listening.
He's definitely going to listen to this. He will hear this, and I think that will be something. Because I wasn't a fan of the press conference last year. It was just it's just too fake. It just didn't. It was just too obvious that this is not even what they were. They were supposed to say whatever they said. So I would just make it simple. Have a press conference. If people have questions, let the fans ask questions again.
I bet you his phone died.
Yeah, let the fans ask questions again, and let them just peel off, and just get on a scale and just don't say nothing.
Bro, man, it's been like.
I'm sure that.
Sorry.
I'm sure that you guys are hyped up. I'm like full of energy ever since I've seen
That's what I was
Lee.
about to say. This is like one of my favorite podcasts. Just because I'm, like I say, I'm such a fan. In my heart, I feel like I'm the number one fan, but it's probably others.
You're number two. You're close.
I'm just,
you guys,
just saying.
Yeah,
man.
I'm ultimate, and then you guys. Yeah, I still take a pride of competing with him.
Yeah.
And like I said, since he shook my head at that athletes meeting, I was the biggest fan ever. Because Chris, you and I saw him in '88. You said you watched it live. I mean, right there. It was history that just happened. The best physique of all time is right in front of you.
But just watching him from a kid, when I first was introduced to bodybuilding in 1983, he was like, okay, he took third. I was like, damn, but this guy, like he's something special, right? So
now think about it.
I was 16 years old, I believe. That's when he won his first Olympia at 84. And I was just like, man, maybe I could do what he's doing. I remember he had a bowl of gumbo in his hand. They did a thing for Muscle and Fitness, and they were saying like Lee Haney eats all of this stuff. I was like, man, I eat gumbo too.
Chris, but now, think of this for a second. Lee Haney retired in '91.
I know.
So '91, we're talking 31 years ago.
He still had another 4 or 5
30.
years.
No, listen to it. Check this out. 31 years ago. Now put Lee Haney at his best on the Olympia stage today.
Still handling it.
He would probably still win it.
Yeah, I for sure. '91 Olympia, I've seen it. But listen,
He might not have the biggest legs. He might not have, but he would have the best combination of everything.
Yeah, but you know how we say video footage and pictures don't do the justice?
Uh-huh.
That's why I said '88 when Chris and I were in LA watching Lee on the stage. It's a different level. I don't know what is it.
How did he look so
can capture.
How did he look so tall that day, you think? Because it looked like everybody was at least 3 feet shorter than him. And he was just had his hands on their heads like, are you okay over there, little Lee? Are you okay there, little Sean? Get little Sean out the way. Let me work right here.
Yeah. No, he stood out. And I think he would still, you know what? A dream match would be all the Olympia winners in one contest.
At their best?
At their best. All the 16 Olympia winners that we have today at their best. And it's crazy to say that somebody who retired over 30 years ago, would still be the best, one of the best.
Man, I'm gonna call Lee up just to talk to him sometime. He got me hyped.
Yeah.
Shit.
No,
So
listen. This
man.
it makes a lot of sense with what he said, and I'm glad if people were listening to this later will see. Listen, yeah, give it a try. Maybe put some rest in there. Try to nap a little bit more, because when he said that reminded me like, yeah, that's what I used to do. Not because I thought this was going to help me, just because I was just napping all the time.
You just have like
But I grew like weed. I was getting bigger by the day.
On a regular basis.
Yeah.
But he trains twice a day, 3 days on, 1 off.
I used to
Still
do I used to do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I used to, even as a teenager, I was in Venice training for the team in California, and I train in the morning at Gold's. I go to the beach, I'd eat my meal, and then I'd take a nap in the sun. I'm out there in the same area where they did pump and iron, so I'm just doing the whole thing in Venice.
Yeah.
And then I go train again in the evening, and then I'd go and rest at night or whatever in Hollywood. Then I come back and do it again.
What do you mean you rest in Hollywood? In the club?
No, that's where I was staying in Hollywood.
Oh, okay. He said, I'm gonna rest in Hollywood.
That's when I went to Seven Bell. Hey, I went to Seven Bell strip club. I was 18 years old. I was like, I'm just gonna go see what it's like.
How many guys train twice a day now? How many do you know?
I don't know a lot, to be honest. But how many can afford it? Some people have a job. They still got to do something to do. They can't be in the gym.
We all had
you get a job that
financial
you can
problems
do.
back in the day.
No. I'm not talking about the financial problems. I'm talking about some people, they go to work. They can they still work.
Speaking of the pros like back in the 80s, 90s, come on, we all had our duties, but training two times a day is the option. There's many that don't have a job, but overtraining once a day, that's it. Yeah. So I'm glad that Lee Haney said that. But I wanted to ask him because of that stimulate, don't annihilate, and Bill Pearl telling me back in the day, I remember that conversation. Did you train to failure? And then he asked me, why would I want to fail in anything? And it was just like, hold on, what do you mean? Why would I want to fail in anything? He never went to the failure, right? And there was one of those questions like, okay, now he made some point, right? So I wanted to know from Lee Haney, did he ever actually push to that failure rep or not?
Do you think it's necessary to go to failure?
I mean, you know how you read all this.
You can grow.
No. But I'm asking you as a well-respected coach.
I really don't.
Yeah,
really,
I don't believe in it either.
Yeah,
you can grow.
I believe in training. I believe you should be able to train by yourself without a training partner, which means you should know the rep before this would be your last one. You should know now. If I try another one, I'm going to fail. And
but you see,
go ahead.
Chris trained with Dorian, right? And Dorian was all about that. Push as many plus, few forceps plus.
Pass.
Yeah, but then you end up with the injuries that you don't need. Sooner or later.
The thing that Dorian did say to me is that he wished he would have backed down when you should have. There's like a period of time where you push, but then you spend a period of time not pushing so hard,
right,
and just kicking it down and keeping it cool. But just pedal to the metal, boom, boom, boom. You're gonna get hurt eventually.
Yeah.
But that's what the Lee preaches: stimulate, don't annihilate. So I really want to hear from him where was determination when to stop? Because when you go with this, all out, another one more shit. Like then he said something's gotta go eventually.
Yeah.
Because every time you push the limit, goddamn.
You don't know where the limit is.
Yeah.
The weight's going to always be solid. The only thing can go is your muscle or the tendon away from the pump.
Yeah. There is more research nowadays. I'm sure you guys don't read the research, and I stopped reading it, but every so often I get this. So there's research that, you can achieve the same level of hypertrophy going to failure and not going for. So you can moderate the weight, increase the volume maybe, and that would be it.
All right.
So just kind of from experience, we had a lot of years in the gym, so a lot of it comes with experience and understanding.
But most people, and that was probably my case too in the beginning. I was just following what other people was doing, and shit was working. I didn't know why, how. People asked me. I went to my first shows. I did the universe. I didn't know how or why, because you just train and basically eat, whatever they tell you to eat, and you eat as much as you can.
That's when you're looking at the scale. Oh shit, I'm two this, I'm two that, I'm over 200.
No, but I literally got to a point where I won the USAs, and people asked me how. I don't know. I had nobody telling me anything. I won the USAs on my own.
Yeah. Just eating, training, and doing what you think is right.
Yeah.
But listen, yesterday I was in a gym, Dragon Slayer, and this guy, Pavel Vashchenko, he's doing a arena show. It's Ukrainian-Russian champ, which I didn't even ask him, are you Ukrainian or Russian? Because it's so touchy subject right now. But listen, I mean, I was training a Japanese athlete. In the corner of my eye, I'm looking like, Jesus Christ, this guy did the full stack on the pull downs. This is super heavy stack with one arm. He was doing a one arm whole stack. What is the equipment is Arsenal strength pull downs with one arm. Then on the corner of Mazda, I'm looking. He was loading up every machine. He's 2 weeks away from the show. Powerhouse that you have not seen. Every machine overloaded and playing with it. So I came to him and I asked, like, oh yeah, so what are your best lifts? So he's doing 450 kilo deadlift. That's like close to 1,000 pounds, right? And then he was mentioning something. Oh yeah, he was doing a 6 plates bend over rows. I say I'm looking at Nick Walker doing 3 plates and making it look like it's heavy. So I told the guy, like, listen, yeah, there's all relative, right? I could never. My top weight was not your warm up, but it's aren't you afraid that you get injured so close? Then I asked him about his contest prep. In Russia, they were basically cutting the water 10 days out. No. I said, what do you mean? Oh, I don't drink water. I said, well, listen, that's impossible because 10 days you would die.
Yeah,
I said, well, they had some ice cubes and stuff like that, but he would not drink. I mean, I did one time for 3 days and I almost died, right? But 10 days, those are the principles, right? And then I have this old-fashioned potassium, sodium, depletion and loading. And it's like, oh man. So, yeah.
It's got to be fucking 10 miserable days.
Imagine. 88.
I did it 3 days, almost not quite 3, 2.5, almost 3 days in my amateur, because that's what they told me, don't drink. And then they had the carb load. I said, what do I use to carb load? Oats and cornflakes. So now don't drink for like a day and a half and try to eat oats dry. That was bro. That was the worst. I tried. I literally.
Did you take a German kind when they just take oats?
Yes, die Haferflocken.
Without water.
With no water. And
that's
listen,
what people don't understand. When you say oats, they would think that you put it in the water.
No, dry. I was dusty, bro. It was crazy, and I had no water for a day and a half, so my mouth was dry. Then I switched to. Then I said I can't do this no more. Then I switched to cornflakes, and I ate cornflakes. I cut my gums with the cornflakes and everything, trying to eat that shit dry. Oh yeah.
Jeez.
I was with Frank Hillebrand, right? In a Hong Kong tour with Ronnie and Flex and all these guys. So we were in an airplane, and exactly this. What was Haferflocken or whatever?
Yes, Haferflocken. Yes.
Yeah, and then he puts in a plastic glass, doesn't put even water or anything in here, and he finished the whole fucking thing. I said, like, oh, but why didn't you put water or something? Oh, I like it like this. So I didn't even know until that moment this is possible. Now you're telling me the same thing.
Yeah, but it's terrible. I did that. I said, I would never do that again. That shit was terrible. You're trying to eat and you can't swallow, and every time you try to say something, there will dust come out your mouth. No.
Hey, when we used to be on tour, I remember, I think you were helping Dennis, and I was like, you were telling him, I heard you say, I go get some cake from the store.
Yep. That was in Hungary.
Hey, I was like, what the fuck?
That was after Hungary. No, not Hungary. Yeah, before Hungary.
It was around, Budapest.
Yeah, me and Melvin, we all went got cake.
Yeah. Is this the one that you won, Dennis?
Yes.
I couldn't understand what was happening. I was just like, no one's telling me shit or like some shit like that. I was like, damn, this is crazy. Like, get some cake. I want some cake.
Chris, maybe you don't remember, but 97 in Hungary. I remember you had that Greek guy, your coach.
Yeah. Pano Pagoulis.
I forgot the name. Yeah.
Pano Pagoulis.
But we were there, and you were hypoglycemic. You were about to pass out, and he gave you like this much of sweet potato. And I was just like, what the fuck is
die.
that?
He was like, die, motherfucker, die. He gave
You guys was you guys would just step over me and get to this stage. You guys do the Iverson step over.
But hey, I gotta ask you, what did you hear from Lee when I keep insisting, Dorian or Flex, Kevin, Sean, Chris?
I didn't hear nothing. So let's stop about this.
Lovely.
Yeah. Milos just want to get everybody in trouble.
Hey, Dennis, we just got in the clear.
Yeah, we just got the pass.
Hey, I didn't want to push it, but listen, okay. So
We just got in the clear. Why are you trying to bring us back?
You bring shit back from 30, 40 years ago.
God damn it.
Hey, you heard about posing, right? And how Arnold told Lee Haney, until you start posing and have an artistry of presentation, right? You're not going to win. And they talk about, what did he say? Tom Platt's doing the, hair thing.
He was doing this here.
Any guy, yeah. You remember great things.
And put it in a pose, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And he did this one.
How many of these posing routines or moments can you remember in the last 10 years? Since they changed the rule.
Yeah.
We don't need it.
Who was the last great poser? Melvin Anthony?
Yeah, Melvin was great. Darren Charles, yeah.
Melvin Durham.
There's a little.
I just watched a video of Melvin and I was like, fuck, I can't believe how good his posing routine was with his shape. If this guy would have been this much more strict with everything, he would have been Mr. Olympia.
When I train Melvin and he's supposed to be on 0 carbs, and every day he comes, he's heavier.
Listen.
Bro, he stayed in my house, right?
His wife told me later.
Hey, bro, he stayed in my house, and he was. Whatever. He was staying in my house, and we were training, and he was like, that's when, because you got to talk Melvin off the ledge sometime, as far as like he's trying to quit, he's trying to look for something else to do. You're like, no, stick with this, bodybuilding, man. You stick with it. You're good at it. So, you get to that point, and then I remember I was like, we're going to the gym. I said, okay, you put in this amount of weeks, then we get a little cheat, and then we can, and then we'll be good. Then we cruise into the show after that cheat meal. So we put in some weeks, hardcore training, diet, cardio, boom, posing. Then I said, okay, we're gonna have a cheat. So we're gonna have some cake and a little bit of
ice cream,
pizza. It was pizza, couple slices of pizza and some cake. So okay, we go out, man. He was full. I'm full, man. Damn, that was good. Thank you, man. Yeah, whatever, right? So we go, and then I left the rest of the cake on the drain board, and then I went to go to sleep. So I just got up in the middle of the night, come to the kitchen. Some of the cake is missing. More of it is missing.
He can't stop. He couldn't stop. He couldn't stop no more.
I'm like, bro, why you? I wake him up, like, man, why you eat this cake, man? It's like, damn, dude, what you trying to lose now? Like, you doing too much, right? Basically, right? So then, I put that motherfucker in the trash, right? This motherfucker went in there again.
Got the cake out of the trash.
You're going to the trash to get the cake. I said, damn, Melvin. Bro, then I put shit on top. I put like down in there. You should
have destroyed it. You should have destroyed it.
You should just put the salt on it, man.
Bro, listen, some of the greatest genetics ever, Melvin. And his ex-wife told me after they was separated, like he would, he didn't tell anybody. He would at night, he would get up, he would go get ice cream and cake.
Yeah,
and eat ice cream and cake.
Hot dogs are his thing also. But Chris, he blamed it on you. I'll tell you, Night of the Champions, his first NOC, and I fly with him, and I'm in his room. But like Thursday night, I had to do for MRI in the middle of the night. So I was there. So Friday, he got the apple pie, right? But the deal is he was going to eat it after the show. So I fell asleep earlier. And then in the morning, Saturday morning, I said, okay, I said, Melvin, where's the pie? Chris came and had it. Chris had it.
I'm not a pie guy. I'm a cake guy.
Yes. Anyway, I knew right away.
Yeah.
I mean, those 5 days of zero carbs, Sean would come to the gym, and then I could see them talking, and they made the plan to go to Sizzler on the zero carb diet. So there you go. But John Brown was big on hot dogs, so that's what it's one of the things.
I used to love donuts, man. So it was like I was living in Orange County when I was at the Fountain Valley Powerhouse, and they would fucking cook them at 3 a.m., dude. And I would wake up at 3 something, and I'm like,
and get donuts.
I'm gonna go, and I jump the fence, and then I'd go because they had a little window outside the place where you can, order all night. So
what donuts are you talking about? Krispy Kreme or Dunkin' Donuts?
No, before Krispy Kreme. This was it was just this regular donut place, but they cook them fresh glazed. I just want a hot glaze, dude. Hot glaze. Man, I have a couple of them, dude, and then it's like, okay, then I'll go to the gym 3 times a day over the course of the next week, just to try to, get that fluff off from the donuts and stuff. So who
was the weakest that you got? The weakest guys when it comes to dieting to stay strict on a diet? Who was the weakest? Was it Flex?
Oh yeah, Flex by far the king. Bro, he's the kind of guy that would go through the drive-through, order some shit, eat enough food, and then go to the drive-through again. He would make another lap around and go do the shit again. Who does 2 drive-throughs the same run? Flex.
Hey, listen, apple pie feeling, right? When I gave Flex twice a day apple pie filling, he had a pie with it. he didn't have it just apple pie filling. He had a whole pie.
But dude,
Flex. Or we would go to the restaurant, right? And he gets a regular Coke. I said, "What the hell, man?" I said, "Oh yeah, I can't stand that shit."
Yeah, he don't like the thing.
Yeah, can you? He's another one. Like if they would have
burgers.
I mean, 100. If they would have been 100%, how much better could they be? And I mean, they were already great. But I just watched the posing routine with Melvin. What was it? I don't know what show it was with the blue trunks. Fucking unbelievable.
2003, no, 2001. I don't know. The Last of Mohicans.
I don't remember. Unbelievable.
Last of Mohicans. Yeah.
Yeah. I look at it today, and I'm like, fuck. We don't see this no more.
Yeah. Artistry.
We should get him on. We should get him on. Maybe he comes on. Maybe Chris, ask him if he wants to come on.
I would love it. Yeah, you guys talk. Yeah. Come on.
I think he was upset behind the video.
Listen, Chris, let me tell you about this video.
He said he wanted to get the video down.
Okay, what? No, he never said that to me. Here's the video.
I'm just saying,
listen, I'm trying to tell you what really happened because I told him.
He's upset about the video.
Yeah, but he shouldn't be upset about me saying what I said because all I said was, I'm doing my live and somebody asked me a question. That was just when it happened, when he got locked up. And somebody asked a question. What do you think about Melvin Anthony? I said, you know what? It's just sad to see that this was wasted potential. He said, for me, I said, this is what I said. If I had his physique with my mindset, I said, I would win every show. And that's all I said. I didn't say anything negative about him.
I think he thought that you said something like, I don't know what's going on with him, and he's something about he wanted to be a gangster.
Listen, I've been frustrated with this guy for years. For years. You know what I'm saying?
You didn't put money and resources in.
Listen. For him to be mad at me for saying what I said, I can't understand.
He's going to be watching this, and Melvin, I hope you're watching this, and you have to understand, all 3 of us love you. All of us have a history with you.
He knows, he knows me well enough to know exactly what.
Yeah, he knows. You guys are brothers.
He also knows exactly whatever I say. What I would say it in his face. It's not like something that I wouldn't say him. He knows me. So then he did a video where he said supposedly he was the only one that called me when this shit happened in Thailand. He was the only one that didn't call me. Because nobody called me but Dexter. You know,
Listen,
but those are the
all-
things. If
we all a family.
I know I'm not mad at him. You know, I'm not mad. I was mad at him going through the shit he had to go through because it wasn't necessary. Before this happened, you know, we went to Mexico together.
Right.
You know, I tried to help him again. You know, I tell him, listen, set up a fucking Instagram, offer posing. This is your thing, man. You could be the fucking number one posing coach in the whole U.S. in the world. You could do Skype sessions every fucking day from home, from wherever you are, and offer posing. You know,
Right.
I just wanted him to get it. So I don't know what he's doing now. I heard he's driving a truck or something.
I think he's trying to come back and get into it right now.
Well, then let's give him a fucking platform. I'll be willing.
Yes.
Let's bring him on, and we can make him a regular. I don't care.
Yeah,
Let's give him a
Yeah, but,
platform.
I don't know which one is his profile. If this is his profile, right?
No, he has
he
a
had
different one,
several hacked the profiles on Instagram.
Hey, Dennis, I'll call him and see what he's saying.
Yeah, if he wants to
Yeah.
come on. If he's mad at me, or if he's mad at me,
Come
it's
on,
too bad.
Melvin, you gotta get on.
Yeah.
Come on.
If it's mad at me for what I
it's like,
said, if it's mad at me for what I said, then I'm sorry. I can't help it.
Listen, I was doing my online coaching, and then all of a sudden I got like Melvin Anthony, calling in the Facebook.
Yeah,
And I don't even know that
from jail.
From jail.
Yeah, I know. He messaged me on Instagram
Melvin.
on Facebook.
It's impossible,
Video?
right?
No, he messaged me from Facebook. I said, damn.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
I click on it, and here it is. I was talking to him, and I said, how can you have a phone inside the jail? I said, don't worry.
Yeah.
But then he had some guys informing him where he's supposed to stop. So, he's cool.
You know, the good thing
he
is,
can find his way around anywhere.
yeah. I mean, listen. At the end of the day, listen. I've been mad at him 100,000 times. and always give him a hug. So if he wants to be mad at me, it's fine. It's not.
He's
Right.
at 100,000 times.
You know what I mean? Hey, we all know Melvin. How long can you be pissed at this guy?
He can. Yeah.
You can be mad and then.
But
And,
bro, it's like we all,
There
it's
you
just I know it's all we brothers in iron type of shit. It's a family, man. Some people are fucked up, some people not. Some people you just get over it. You pissed at your brother for a year or two or whatever it is. You get over it and you move on. But we all got something, this big thing in common that we dedicate our lives to, and it is what it is. But
Right.
But you know how it is now that you mentioned, even when we were competing, right? Initially, I met you met me, all this stuff. But there's a little bit that competitiveness and like we're going against each other. It's not like we were best of friends or you're trying to, make each other comfortable. But that's the thing about me going to that Olympia and meeting Lee Haney. His speech was like he's inviting me to his home, putting me on a table and feeding me. I mean, and then I watched him do this with Sonny Schmidt. Talk to him about Samoa and Australia, and then with Andreas Munzer that had his spoken English, right? I mean, shit. So Lee Haney was that step above. Immediately, he made anybody around him friend, and he continued for 30 years now. You don't remember this, but when you were working at Roxbury, one time you wanted to punch my lights out. You, yeah.
He thought
I'm telling
somebody
you.
at Roxbury, like who?
Yeah, you were because I remember very well. I knew who you were, but probably you didn't know who I was. And I don't even know I was with some group and somebody did something. But you looked straight at me and you were like, pissed off and shit. Because it was one of those things. Is he gonna swing at me or should I? Yeah, sure.
on that note, we're gonna wrap this up. Thanks, guys.
All right.
As that was another good one. I can't wait for this one to air this Sunday. And
Yeah, this is gonna be good.
I'm
brother.
still working on something good for next week. So,
Yeah, you said Dorian, no?
Yeah, I'll get on Dorian, man.
well, you said that last week or 2 weeks ago.
We're good.
What
We're
happened?
good.
What happened? You wait till the last
agreed,
minute.
So we're good.
Oh yeah, he said yes.
Yeah, I talked to him. I talked to him on the phone.
Okay, so
Yeah.
have him send me, have him message me his email address and what time did you tell him?
Because the thing is, he said, "Yeah, it'd be good for me in the evening." And I told him around the time we usually do it.
Well, he's in Spain.
I know.
So
I said it'd be good for him in the evening.
It would
So
be. It would be in the evening.
Like 10 or 11, yeah.
Yeah. So if it's 11, it would be 11, 11 plus 9. It would be
7
8. It would be 8 o'clock for him.
Yeah.
9 hour difference.
It's 9 hours.
Yeah.
8 p.m. Yeah.
So check with him and listen, Chris. Trying to do that today so we can get this confirmed.
Okay. That means I'm still doing work. We're gonna I'm gonna be compensated for overtime. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
What'd you say? I heard you.
He said you've been compensated. All right,
What that
guys.
little guy say back there?
All right, guys. Thanks, y'all. I appreciate y'all, man. We'll see you.
All right, man.
We'll see you next week,
Appreciate you, man.
Tuesday. All right.
Awesome.
Take care. Bye-bye.